But to a great sporting story. The young lady, Ariarne Titmus, set the world alight last year at the World Swimming Championships in what's been acclaimed as one of the greatest performances ever. She beat the American superstar Katie Ledecky in the World 400 Freestyle final, a titanic battle, and this brilliant young Australian, who the world should know, dug deep and mowed down the American superstar on the final lap. Typical of her modesty, she says it wasn't a fair fight because, as Ariarne said, Katie Ledecky was sick. Well, be that as it may, Katie Ledecky performed very poorly outside the pool. It was a sour response to her first international defeat. The five-time Olympic gold medalist didn't turn to congratulate Ariarne immediately after the race and then withdrew from the 200 and 1500. Ariarne Titmus collected a second gold medal as the lead swimmer in Australia's 4x200 relay team that broke the world record. Ledecky did turn the tables on Ariarne to win the individual 800. I just thought we'd talk to this young lady, modest and gifted. Good evening to you, world champion.
Good evening, Alan.
How does that sound?
It still sounds pretty good. It was over a year ago now, and I should have just competed at the Olympics and be on my way home now, but that's next year to come.
You very modestly said that you won't accept that you beat the greatest all-time, fair and square, but your performance has been acclaimed as one of the greatest in middle-distance swimming. How did you make yourself lift in that last and final 50? I think we've got some footage of it here. Let's pick it up with 25 to go. I hope we've got this with 25 to go. Oh, I don't think so. But anyway, look, while we're waiting for this, Ariarne, what did you think of her performance immediately after the race?
I mean, for her, I just try to put myself in her shoes, and for someone that's been undefeated for so long, it probably was a shock to the system to have someone to come up and, I guess, take your crown. I wasn't too fazed by it. You know, she obviously wasn't feeling well and was disappointed with herself and her swim. And knowing me, if I had a bad swim as well, I probably would have been a little bit down. But, you know, outside the pool, she congratulated me and said well done to me on the podium, and we spoke, so it was all fine.
So the Tokyo Olympics hopefully will go ahead. Some are saying this will be one of the most watched swimming races in history. I mean, you're only 18 years of age. Do you feel any of this pressure?
A little bit. I definitely am starting to feel the pressure now that the Olympics is another year yet, and people are going to be building up this anticipation for another year to come, which is a bit more pressure, I guess. But I feel like the pressure that I put on myself and my coach puts on me at training and what he expects of me to do is probably the greatest amount of pressure. So just the added pressure from the public doesn't faze me too much. You
swam 3:58.71. It's the 8th fastest time in history, your personal best. You've been improving. Ledecky's got the top 7 times. The world record's 3:56.46, which she set winning in Rio in 2016. Do you think you can get past that?
I definitely believe that to win at the Olympics, it's going to take a world record. I feel when two people are fighting it out, you know, the time's just going to get faster and faster because the competition's there. I feel if she was out on her own and it was an easier battle, I don't feel like it would have been as fast. But because I'm there right on her tail, I feel like it's going to definitely take a world record to win the 400 at the Olympics.
But as you know, Ariarne, she hasn't swum under 3:58.5 since May 2018. She's 4 years older than you. Do you think, I hate saying this, but I'm just asking, is she past her peak? Or put another way, how much faster can you go?
I believe definitely I've got a lot more in the tank. I can't speak for her.
I love that. I've got more in the tank. I love it.
Definitely. I'm nearly 20 and I've still got bit of strength to build, things to improve on in the pool, and I feel like another year is just going to help me when I look at the positive of 2020.
Fantastic. Just one thing before we go. Swimmers always say, I've got to fix a couple of things. What sort of things do you have to fix?
For me, my skills, which is my dive and my turns, are definitely a few areas that let me down in my races. They've definitely come along a little bit and improved over the past few years, but I still have to get a lot better for me to try and get that time down. My swimming speed's great, but my skills are definitely the thing that lets me down. So they're the little things that I'm trying to work on at the moment.
And just a quick one before you go. What about life out of the pool? Do you have time to do what 18-year-olds like to do away from swimming?
I guess my life out of the pool is probably a lot different to many other people my age. I don't get to go out and party and that type of thing, but I can, find things to do with my friends that keep me happy. I love cooking. I love just catching up with my friends. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I find time to do things.
Well, now listen, you're a long way from Launceston, and I know you're very grateful for your mum and dad who moved to Queensland to give you better training opportunities. I had a mate whom you would never have heard of, Jim Killen. He was a politician, Ariarne, but he always said to me, he said, I had a saying, that if that's not a good story, we are in trouble. You're a good story. We're going to talk again, and I'm sure, congratulations, wonderful stuff, talented and modest, and it's to your great credit.
Thank you.
Makes us all feel good. Ariarne, lovely to talk to you.
Thank you.